Good rising. Good rising. Good rising. How art thou? If you see me, well, you see me looking down. So what I'm doing is making me a tea, a little herbal blend because my body is craving it. So we're gonna give body what body wants sometimes. So I'm making a tea. Sometimes I blend my own herbal mixes. But today, what we're going to talk about is the Centurion faith and deliverance. I don't believe this is going to be long because I just don't. But we'll see where it goes. Oh gosh, I'm making a mess. Making a mess. It's already No greater love in this world for you. Hosanna forever. What's his name? Y'all, let me tell you something. I will butcher a song so quick. Okay? So quick. Like, I know the beat. I know what I think the song say. I can't tell you for a fact what them words is. I can't. I really can't. I really be in the car having my own little fun singing just by myself, having a good time, and just bust out laughing because I realize I don't know the words to a lot of these songs. I be thinking I do. Some of them I do, but the ones I don't, boy, I be coming up with so many filler words that sound correct. It be all off. Shoot. I got to come up with another word besides shoot because that one's a little too close to. All right, y'all, bear with me. Oh gosh, I made a hot mess. All right, anywho, so the other day I was reading through the word and a little batch. You can't really see it. I don't know if you can see it. Let me cover my hand because them palm readers. Boy, they be. Oh, you got this in your hand. Okay. Listen. So the other day I was reading in the Word, and I stumbled in Matthew as I was studying something else. I landed on Matthew, I want to say 8, but I'm going to open up the Bible so I can read it for you. This is the NIV version, not the KJV, but I'll still read. My KJV version is a little far right now. I can't grab it. But the other day I was reading through the word, and I stumbled upon where God had healed the leper, and then the centurion came up to him and was asking if he could help heal one of his servants. And he was talking to God about how he felt unworthy for God to actually come to his home because he know that he had sinned and all of these different things. And it was interesting because when you look at, hey everyone, when you look at the leper's healing, right? The leper got healed because he came to Christ and God basically said it'll be so, right? And so he got his healing that way. But with the centurion, his faith was set up differently, and God praised his faith because, thank you, God praised his faith because he believed and he had the faith to know that if God alone spoke a word, if God just spoke the word, that his servant would receive the healing. And sometimes there are people who we might know or encounter throughout life, and they feel like they have to have proof of everything, right? Everything they have to have proof. They may even had a a mentor or a Ahabite who they believe to be a solid prophet of God, right? Who has convinced them that they need proof of everything. And it's interesting because the centurion didn't need proof. He needed, he knew that if God said it, it would be done. He didn't have to be in the presence of his servants to see the healing that God provided. He just knew that if God spoke it, that his servant was going to be healed. And there are so many of us who sadly have lately been bamboozled because an Ahabite have told them that they need the proof. And it's funny because when you listen to Ahabites, if you listen intently, right, you realize that they really sound like Pharisees. They sound like Pharisees. And that was not the centurion's faith. The centurion knew and trusted and believed that if God spoke it, it would happen. And there are some people right now who are struggling to discern the difference between an Ahabite and a true prophet of God. And so they are believing everything that these Ahabites saying, and they're thinking they about to get healed or deliverance. And maybe they will in some way. Maybe, right? Who knows? Look at my tea, y'all. But it was just very interesting that the centurion did not need to see. He just needed to believe that because God spoke it, it was going to be so. And there are some people right now who God is utilizing and is speaking through. And because you are unable to discern that is God speaking through the person, you'll end up missing your deliverance. You'll end up missing the deliverance that this person could speak. But because the Ahabites have convinced you that you need proof, you missed the healing that could have been instantaneous. Because you need to see it to believe it. The centurion didn't need to see his servant to know that once he returned home, his servant was going to be healed. He didn't need to bring his servant personally to Christ. He came to Christ for his servant in request of his servant to be healed. And because he came with the faith to know that if God spoke a word, it would be so, his servant was healed. Let's go to the word. Let me open up the book. Is my phone? Y'all, it's going to be a short word. All right, so I'm going to start from verse 1 and go to verse 13. So this is Matthew 8, verses 1 through 13. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." Immediately, he was cleansed of his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, "See that you don't tell anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest and offer the gift Moses commanded as a testimony to them." When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home, paralyzed, suffering terribly." The centurion did not even bring the servant with him. First of all, the servant was paralyzed. He couldn't move. But the centurion went in place of the servant. And Jesus said to him, "Shall I come and heal him?" The centurion replied, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word." Some of us are waiting for deliverance. And there are people out here who God is using. And if God speaks a word through them, you can get your healing instantly. But so many of you need proof. He then goes on and he says, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes. And that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Jesus said to the centurion, go, let it be done just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed at that moment. Y'all, he didn't have to see his servant to know that when he returned home, his servant was healed, just because Jesus spoke the word. He didn't need proof. He didn't have to physically lay his eyes on the servant to know that if Jesus spoke it, it would be so. And Jesus praised his faith. Some of us have leprosy faith. We have to be right in front of Jesus and to be touched in order to get the healing that we need. Instead of understanding that if Jesus speaks it, it's done. Some of us have leprosy faith where we have to be touched to be cleansed. Instead of knowing that if Jesus speaks it, it is so. So many people have been convinced you need proof. And the centurion needed none. He just believed that if Jesus spoke it, it would be so. And his deliverance was granted. It was done. It was complete. His only task then was to return home. But by the time he got there, his servant was unparalyzed. Suffering done. And Jesus praised him because of his faith. Some of us have faith, but it's leprosy faith. It's like, Lord, if you don't touch me, I'm not clean. Instead of, Lord, if you speak it, it is so. Some of us have to be touched to be cleansed. Instead of trusting that if God speaks it, it's so. That's the message. That's it. Let me see. You bless everyone's heart, peace, and embrace. Oh, thank you, Annie. Good morning, Aaron. Hello from Persia. Ronan, thank you if you subscribe. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody else. All right, y'all. That's my mini live for this morning. Thank y'all for joining. And hopefully you gain something from the word. If not, I will catch you next time. But have a great day. Stay safe if you are in any type of funny weather pattern going on right now. Pray, believe, and know it's going to be all right. Love y'all later. Have a great one.